You've been cutting calories. You've been walking every morning. You've given up sugar, cut back on bread, maybe even skipped dinner some nights. And that belly still won't move. Not an inch. Here's what nobody told you. The problem isn't what you're eating during the day. It's what your body stops doing at night. After 60, something shifts inside your body while you sleep. Your cortisol, that's your stress hormone, stops dropping the way it should overnight. And when cortisol stays high while you sleep, your body gets a very clear signal. Hold on to the fat. Don't burn it. Store it. So while you're doing everything right during the day, your body is quietly working against you every single night. Think of it like a furnace. Your body is supposed to run on a low, steady burn while you sleep, quietly melting through stored fat for hours. But after 60, it's like someone keeps turning the thermostat off. The furnace shuts down. The fat stays right where it is. My name is Dr. Mark Harrison. I've spent over 22 years working with patients whose labs, whose diets, and whose willpower were all perfectly in order, and whose belly fat still wouldn't budge. What I kept finding was that the missing piece wasn't a drug or a diet plan. It was something happening or not happening during sleep. Today I'm going to show you the single best seed to eat before bed that research suggests can help switch your body back into overnight fat-burning mode. No miracle claims, just science and exactly how to use it. And the number one seed on this list is something most people already own, but almost everyone uses at the wrong time, or throws away the most powerful part entirely. Drop your age in the comments below and tell me how long belly fat has been a struggle for you. I read every single one. So let's talk about what's actually going on inside your body, because once you understand this, everything else is going to make perfect sense. There are two things happening after 60 that most doctors never sit down and explain to you. And together, they create a wall that no amount of dieting or walking can break through on its own. The first is insulin sensitivity. When you're young, your body responds quickly to insulin overnight. It keeps your blood sugar stable and tells your cells to burn stored fat for energy while you sleep. But after 60, that response slows down significantly. Your cells stop listening as well. So instead of burning fat during those 6, 7, or 8 hours of sleep, your body keeps storing it every single night. The second piece is your liver. Your liver is your body's fat processing engine. It breaks down visceral fat, that's the deep belly fat wrapped around your organs, and prepares it to be used as fuel. But here's what the research shows. Liver function can decline meaningfully with age, and that decline directly slows the rate at which visceral fat is processed. Think of it like a drain that used to run clear but has gradually started to back up. Less flow, more buildup. Put those two things together and here's what you get. A clogged drain. The water, your fat, keeps coming in, but nothing is moving out. You can turn the tap down by eating less. You can try to push more through by exercising. But if the drain itself is clogged, you're fighting a losing battle. That's why calorie restriction alone doesn't work the way it used to. That's why the scale barely moves even when you're doing everything right. It's not a willpower problem. It's a drainage problem. And no one told you that. The good news is that certain seeds contain natural compounds that work directly on both of these mechanisms. They help your cells respond to insulin again overnight. They support your liver's ability to break down and move stored fat. They essentially unclog the drain while you sleep. And the number one seed on this list does this better than anything else the research has found. And it's the last one you'd ever expect. Let's get into it. Let's start building the list. And I want you to pay attention here, because even these first two seeds are more powerful than most people realize. Starting at number 5, pumpkin seeds. You've probably eaten these at some point as a snack, tossed them on a salad, or grabbed a handful at a trail mix bar. But almost nobody thinks of them as a metabolic tool. That's a mistake. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium and zinc on the planet. And both of those nutrients play a direct role in what your body does during sleep. Magnesium is critical for insulin signaling overnight. It essentially helps your cells hear the message to burn fat instead of store it. Zinc supports the release of growth hormone and helps maintain healthy testosterone levels during sleep, and both of those hormones are major drivers of overnight fat oxidation. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that magnesium plays a direct role in overnight glucose regulation, meaning how your body handles blood sugar while you sleep. And here's the part that should concern you. Research consistently shows that the majority of older adults consume less magnesium than the recommended daily amount, and that gap has real metabolic consequences. Your nighttime fat-burning ability can quietly slow down because of it, and most people have no idea it's happening. Now, the mistake almost everyone makes is buying the roasted, salted version. That added sodium works against you, and the roasting process destroys up to 40% of the magnesium before it ever reaches your body. Buy raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. One small handful, about 1 ounce, 30 minutes before bed. Simple. Moving to number 4, sesame seeds. Most people see these stuck to the top of a burger bun and think absolutely nothing of them. But inside each one of those tiny seeds is a compound called sesame, and sesame does something remarkable in the body. Sesame works in 2 ways. First, it suppresses an enzyme in your liver that promotes the buildup of inflammatory fat. Second, it supports a hormone called adiponectin, which signals your body to start burning stored fat for energy. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry confirmed both of these effects. And after 60, adiponectin levels drop sharply, which is one of the key reasons belly fat becomes so stubborn with age. The mistake here is eating whole sesame seeds. They have a hard outer coat your body cannot break down, so they pass straight through you undigested. You need to either grind them or use tahini, which is simply ground sesame paste. 1 tablespoon of ground sesame seeds or 2 teaspoons of tahini before bed is all it takes. 2 seeds down. 3 more to go, and they get stronger from here. Before we get to the next 3 seeds, I want to pause for just a moment. If what you've heard so far has changed the way you think about those seeds sitting in your kitchen, if you're already making a mental note to swap out the roasted pumpkin seeds for raw, or to pick up some tahini this week, then hit the like button right now. Not for me. Because right now, somewhere else on YouTube, someone over 60 is watching a video that's either moving them closer to real answers or further away. Your like tells YouTube to put this in front of more of those people. It takes 1 second, and it genuinely matters. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming. Because seeds 3 and 2 are where this list gets genuinely surprising. We're moving into compounds that work on a completely different level, ones that most people have never connected to belly fat at all. And number 1, I'll be honest with you. When I first looked closely at the clinical trial data behind the number 1 seed on this list, I had to read it twice. The results were that significant. Even researchers with decades of experience in metabolic medicine have called the findings remarkable. You do not want to miss it. We're almost there. Let's keep going. Here's where things start to get genuinely interesting. Number 3 is chia seeds. And before you think you already know this one, you probably don't know the part that actually matters for belly fat. Most people use chia seeds for fiber, or they throw a spoonful into a morning smoothie and move on. What almost nobody knows is that chia seeds contain the highest concentration of plant-based ALA omega-3 fatty acids of any seed on Earth. And ALA has a direct effect on the exact hormone that's been keeping your body in fat storage mode every night. That hormone is cortisol. When cortisol stays elevated during sleep, which happens more and more after 60, your body simply refuses to burn stored fat. ALA from chia seeds converts in the body into EPA and DHA, which reduce the inflammatory signals that spike cortisol at night. On top of that, chia seeds improve leptin sensitivity. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain to stop storing fat and start releasing it. A 2021 randomized controlled trial published in the journal Nutrients found a 19% reduction in visceral fat markers in participants who consumed chia seeds daily over 12 weeks. That's a meaningful result. One important note for anyone over 70. Your body's ability to convert ALA to the active forms your cells need drops significantly with age. Some research puts it as low as 5%. To get more from chia seeds, eat them alongside a small source of healthy fat, a few walnuts, a teaspoon of olive oil, to improve absorption. The preparation mistake is eating them dry. Chia seeds absorb up to 12 times their weight in water. Dry, they can expand in your throat or stomach and cause real discomfort. Always make chia gel. 2 tablespoons in half a cup of water, stir well, and let it sit for 15 minutes. Take it 45 minutes before bed. And for an extra edge, add a small pinch of cinnamon. Research suggests cinnamon may support insulin sensitivity overnight, which amplifies the effect of the seeds. That combination is quietly powerful. Number 2 is flax seeds. And this is where the science gets hard to ignore. Flax seeds are the most clinically studied seed for metabolic health in the world. Not the most popular, the most studied. A double-blind, randomized controlled trial conducted at St. Boniface Hospital in Canada, published in the journal Hypertension in 2013, found that participants who consumed 30 grams of ground flax daily showed a 44% improvement in how well their blood vessels could open and allow blood to flow, alongside reductions in key metabolic markers, including blood pressure and indicators of cardiovascular risk, over 6 months. That is a gold standard study producing remarkable numbers. Here's the mechanism. Flax seeds contain compounds called SDG lignans. When they reach your gut bacteria convert them into a substance called enterolactone, which directly blocks the enzyme responsible for converting excess glucose into stored belly fat. At the same time, the ALA in flax reduces fasting insulin levels overnight, meaning your body spends more hours in fat-burning mode while you sleep. Here's the age-specific problem, though. After 65, the gut bacteria you need to convert those SDG lignans start to decline. That means many seniors are swallowing flax seeds and getting a fraction of the benefit they should be getting. Supporting your gut health through probiotic foods or a quality supplement makes a real difference here. The preparation mistake is the most common one in this entire list. Whole flax seeds pass straight through your body completely undigested. Your stomach cannot crack the outer shell. You must grind them and grind them fresh. Buy whole flax seeds, grind a week's worth at a time in a coffee grinder, and store the ground flax in the freezer, not the pantry. Ground flax oxidizes within hours at room temperature, and oxidized flax works against you. 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax stirred into warm water or plain yogurt, 30 minutes before bed. That's the protocol. 1 seed left, and it's the one that changes everything. Before we get to number 1, I want to tell you about Patricia. Patricia is 67 years old, a retired nurse from Nashville, Tennessee. She spent over 3 decades taking care of other people, and when it came to her own health, she was just as disciplined. She walked 5 days a week without fail. She watched what she ate. She cut out most processed food years ago. And for 4 straight years, she carried 34 pounds of stubborn belly fat that simply would not move. Her fasting insulin was elevated. Her sleep was broken and restless. And when she finally sat down with her doctor and asked what she could do, his answer was essentially this: "You're 67. This is part of aging. Learn to live with it." She didn't accept that. But she also tried 3 separate weight loss programs over those 4 years, and every single one of them failed her. Not because she gave up, she didn't. They just weren't addressing the right problem. Eventually, Patricia started working with an integrative nutritionist who looked at her full picture, her sleep, her evening routine, her metabolic markers, and made a simple but targeted change. Patricia rebuilt her pre-bed routine around ground flax and Chia gel. She improved her sleep habits, and she cut out the late-night crackers she hadn't even realized were spiking her insulin right before sleep. The results were steady and real. In 14 weeks, her waist measurement dropped 3.5 inches. At the 6-month mark, her fasting insulin had normalized, and she had lost 21 pounds, most of it visceral belly fat, the dangerous kind wrapped around her organs. Her doctor reviewed her labs at that follow-up appointment and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Patricia told him it started with 2 tablespoons before bed. Now, I want to be straightforward with you the way I always am. The seeds were one part of a broader shift in Patricia's routine. She also improved her sleep and made other small changes. But in her own words, the seeds were the part that made everything else finally work. They were the thing that unlocked the process her body had forgotten how to do on its own. That story matters, because Patricia is not unusual. She's exactly who this list was built for. I've seen this pattern more times than I can count. Patients who were doing almost everything right, but missing this one piece. What I'm about to show you is the seed that consistently makes the biggest difference. And I think it's going to stop you in your tracks. Number 1. I promised you number 1 would stop you cold. Here it is, and I'll bet most of you have never bought it. And if you have, you've almost certainly been using it at the wrong time of day entirely. Number 1 is black seed, also known as Nigella sativa or black cumin. It costs under $8 a bag. It has been used as medicine for over 3,000 years across multiple cultures, and it has quietly accumulated some of the most compelling clinical evidence for overnight belly fat metabolism ever recorded in nutritional science. Here's the study I want you to know about. A team led by Dr. Fatma Al-Musa at King Saud University conducted a double-blind randomized controlled trial, the gold standard in medical research, published in the Journal of Diabetes and Metabolic Disorders in 2015. 90 participants. 3 months. The group taking black seed oil lost an average of 4.8 centimeters of waist circumference. Their fasting blood glucose dropped by 13%. Their triglycerides dropped by 26%. And here is the part that makes this study stand out. They made no other dietary changes. The seed did that on its own. So how does it work? The active compound in black seed is called thymoquinone. And thymoquinone does something that no other natural compound in food science has been shown to do as effectively. It activates a switch in your body called PPAR gamma. In plain language, PPAR gamma is the signal that tells your fat cells to stop expanding and start releasing stored fat for energy. It does this work specifically during the overnight fasting window while you sleep. After 65, your body's PPAR gamma activity declines by an estimated 20 to 30%. That decline is one of the direct reasons belly fat builds up and stops responding to diet and exercise. Thymoquinone essentially steps in and overrides that decline. It gives your body back a fat-burning signal it lost years ago. On top of that, a separate study published in the journal Phytomedicine in 2016 found that black seed oil reduced fasting insulin levels by up to 16% over just 8 weeks. Lower insulin at night means your body spends more hours burning fat instead of storing it. That is exactly the mechanism we talked about at the very beginning of this video. Now here is the mistake that makes this seed completely useless for most people who try it. They add black seed oil to hot tea. They drizzle it over warm food. They cook with it. And in doing so, they significantly degrade the very compound that makes it work. Thymoquinone is heat sensitive. Always take it cold or at room temperature to preserve its potency. By the time that oil hits your hot drink, you've already lost much of what you paid for. The correct method is simple. Half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed black seed oil, taken cold or at room temperature. You can take it straight, mix it into cold plain yogurt, or stir it into a small spoon of raw honey. Take it 20 to 30 minutes before bed, never with a hot drink, never cooked into food. One quick note before we move on. If you are taking immunosuppressant medications, please speak with your doctor before adding black seed oil to your routine. Thymoquinone has immune-modulating properties, and your doctor needs to know. This also applies to anyone already on blood thinners. The King Saud trial saw measurable waist reduction beginning at week 6. Peak results came at 12 weeks. So give it time. The body doesn't change overnight, but with consistency, the research shows it does change. There is simply no other seed in the nutritional literature with this level of clinical evidence specifically targeting overnight belly fat metabolism in adults over 60. Not one. Before you go and grab these seeds, I need to walk you through the mistakes that quietly cancel out everything we've talked about. Because I see these all the time, and they matter. The first mistake is taking your seeds right after a heavy meal before bed. When your body is busy digesting a full meal, it cannot focus on the fat flush process these seeds are designed to support. Take your seeds 20 to 30 minutes before your last food of the night, not after it. The second mistake is buying the roasted, salted versions of pumpkin and sesame seeds. The added sodium causes your body to retain water and actively blocks your cells from absorbing the magnesium and minerals you're trying to deliver. Always raw, always unsalted. The third mistake is eating whole flax or whole chia without preparing them properly. Whole flax passes through your body completely undigested. Dry chia expands in your gut. You get zero metabolic benefit from either one if you skip the preparation step. Grind your flax. Make your chia gel. Every time. The fourth mistake surprises most people. Taking your seeds alongside a sweet smoothie or a glass of fruit juice spikes your insulin right before sleep. The exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve. These seeds work best taken with water, plain yogurt, or on their own. Keep it clean. And fifth, an important safety note. If you take blood thinners, have gallbladder issues, or are managing advanced diabetes with insulin, or if you are on immunosuppressant medications, please speak with your doctor before adding flax or black seed oil to your routine. Your doctor needs to know. Now here is exactly how to put this all together. Start with black seed oil in week 1. Half a teaspoon, cold, 20 to 30 minutes before bed. The evidence behind it is the strongest, so it earns the first spot. In week 2, add 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax stirred into warm water. In week 3, bring in your chia gel. Rotate pumpkin seeds and ground sesame or tahini in as your pre-bed snack across all 3 weeks and beyond. Give this a minimum of 6 weeks. The studies that produced the most significant results ran 8 to 12 weeks. 1 seed 3 times a week will not move the needle. Daily, before bed, for weeks, that is the protocol. And be honest with yourself about the foundation. If you are eating heavily processed food, drinking alcohol most nights, or going to bed at midnight after a large dinner, these seeds will not overcome that. They are a multiplier. They amplify a solid foundation. They do not replace one. Now let me bring this all together for you. If you are 65, 72, 78, or even 85, I need you to hear this clearly. Your body has not given up on you. It just needs the right signals at the right time. Every single night is either a fat storage night or a fat flush night. What you put in your body in those last 30 minutes before sleep is one of the most powerful levers you have left. And now you know exactly what to do with it. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 seeds surprised you most? And if you're already using any of them, I genuinely want to know how it's been going for you. Drop your experience below. If this video helped you, please share it with someone over 60 who has been told their belly fat is just part of aging. It isn't, and they deserve to know that. Next time, I'm revealing the 3 breakfast mistakes that spike cortisol before 9 a.m. and lock your body into fat storage mode for the entire rest of the day. Your doctor has almost certainly never mentioned any of them. You do not want to miss that one. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.